Very good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss about what is meant by polymer. The poly means many, mer means n number of units. The polymers are composed for a long number of repeating units is called monomers. Monomers are joined together end to end in a polymerization reaction. And what is meant by polymerization? The polymerization of linking together of a monomers is called polymerization. There are two types of polymerization techniques. First one is additive polymerization techniques. Second one is condensation polymerization techniques. In the classification, there are many way of classification of parts. They can be classified considering various aspects based on the behavior, structure and physical properties. First one is behaviors with heating. Second one is based on the structure. Then third one is physical and mechanical properties. Then classification according to the behaviors with repeating heating. There are divided into two types. First one is thermoplastics. Second one is thermosettings. Then based on the structure, homogeneous. Second one is heterogeneous. Then based on the physical and mechanical properties, rigid plastic, semi-rigid plastic, soft plastics and elastomers. These are all the main classification of plastics. Next one is based on the behaviors, that means heating and cooling. When the polymer is heating and the polymer is cooling, what is the difference between the thermoplastics material and thermosettings material? So the thermoplastics material is a variety softened by heating and hardening when cooled down. It can be used by remolding as many times as required. For example, polyethylene, polypropylene, polycarbonate, these are all the examples for thermoplastics material. Then thermosetting material means the thermosetting plastics can be not reused. Once the thermoset plastic is used, we cannot reuse it. But the thermoplastic material we used repeatedly heating and cooling. This variety required a get pressure and monomers heating during molding when heating and cooling. So the material, once the heating or cooling, we cannot modified. Once the thermoplastics resin is cured, we cannot do anything. For the example, polyester, unsaturated polyester, epoxy resin, these are all the example for thermosettings. Next one is based on the structure, then homogeneous and heterogeneous. They containing carbon chain. The plastics of this group are composed only carbon atoms. These are all the carbon atoms composed in a R. They containing carbon chain. They contain a carbon chain. The plastics of this group are composed only a carbon structure. Based on the carbon structure, these are composed. The variety of plastics are composed in the chain containing carbon and oxygen, the nitrogen and other elements. They can exhibit heterogeneous structure. So based on the structure, first one is homogeneous, second one is heterogeneous. For the homogeneous, the carbon chain content of the material used, that means the containing carbon chain, the plastics of this group are composed only the carbon atom and they can exhibit homogeneous structure. In this heterogeneous structure, this variety of plastics is composed of the chain containing carbon, oxygen, then nitrogen, other elements, and they can exhibit the heterogeneous structures. Based on the structure, we can modify the composite material. The next one based on the physical and chemical properties. Rigid plastics, The rigid plastics The rigid plastics, the plastic have a high molecular and elasticity, and they retaining their shape under extension structures, applying at a normal and moderate increasing the temperatures. The plastic have a medium molecules of elasticity, and the elongation under the pressure completely disappears when the pressure is removed. The next one is softening. The plastics have a low molecules of elasticity, and the elongation under the pressure disappear slowly when the pressure is removed. The soft plastics are available in a large range of colors, size and particle size, used in a making children's toys for the example. The next one is elastomers. The plastics are soft and elastic material with a low molecular elasticity. They deform considerable under a load at a room temperature and return to their original shape when the load is released. The extensions can range up to the time there is the